welcome to day 2. I hope you enjoyed day 1 and that you've kind of got yourself into a routine and you've started to think about how you are going to present your work for yourself and how you're going to keep a record of it. So day 2 is all about colour, and I've called it Colour Your World, Colour Exploration, because I just want you to play with the idea of colour and the idea that colour can create an emotional response, and which is why we have our favourite colours. And most people will have a favourite colour or a favourite combination, and it might be a colour that you've always loved since you were little, or it might be that your colour taste has evolved over the years. So what you're going to do in your sketchbook and your journal, you're going to create a series. Just use your pencil here, that's fine. Just use a pencil really lightly, and you're going to create some very, very simple shapes. And I am going to do a demonstration because I think that some people are getting a little bit anxious about what to do, and I really don't want you to do that. I don't want you to be anxious. So what you're going to do is to create a series of squares, circles and triangles, and then we're going to put some colour into them. So I've got a page of my sketchbook here, and I'm just using an ordinary pencil, and I'm going to cover this page with very simple shapes, and I'm going to do them freehand. I'm going to do some circles, rectangles, squares and triangles like this. You can do them whatever size you want, and you can do them over a couple of pages if you want to as well. There we go. So very simple. Don't worry about it at all. Now I'm going to use watercolour paints. You can use whatever paints you want. So you could use acrylics or poster paints, but you could also use felt tip pens or acrylic pens or something like that. I like using watercolour paints, so I'm going to do it with that. And I'm not thinking about this very much at all. I'm just going to go in and paint each shape. Now you can take your time over this, and while you're painting, I just want you to be thinking about the colour, how the colour makes you feel, whether it makes you feel anything at all, whether it's a colour that you like, whether it's a colour that you don't particularly like. So this page is going to be full of lots of different colours, and there'll be clashes of colours, and so we are not looking to create a beautiful page here. What we are doing is exploring different colours and how they make us feel. And I think it's one of those things that we can change our mood with colour. You know, interior designers know this. And they know that certain colours in certain rooms will make us feel certain things, which is really interesting, isn't it? It's really, really interesting. You know, when I was a teenager, I was obsessed with purple. And I still love purple, I have to admit, I do love purple. But I did spend about a year, I think, when the only clothes I wore were my school uniform and purple. Drove my parents crazy. So as you can see, all I'm doing is painting these. Now, what you could do is when you've done all of these, you could write next to it how you feel and what you think about it. Or you can write that, you can put that somewhere else. But I just wanted to do this quick demonstration because I really want you to see that it just needs to be done without you worrying at all about what the colours look like together or anything like that, because we're going to be looking at that. You're going to be thinking about that. in your reflection time. When we look back, when you've done this, and again, you can take your time. Take your time doing this. But when you've done it, one of the things that you could be thinking about is, which colours do I like going together? How do colours make me feel? And how might you use colours to evoke a mood or a message in your art? And again, it's when we really start to think about the colours in our lives, so that could be in the decor in our houses. Why have we got those colours? And I think that it's a really interesting thing. And obviously there are fashions, and that's always a huge amount of fun, isn't it? Looking at old photographs and seeing what we were wearing and what our houses looked like, or our grandparents' houses. My grandparents had some really quite spectacular curtains. We're just like, whoa. Yeah, they'll probably come back into fashion. But let me just... So you can see what I'm doing here. And again, I'm not really thinking about it. I'm just choosing a colour that's in the palette of my paint. And obviously, you might have a limited palette, and that can be very interesting, because when we have a limited palette, we almost have to kind of push ourselves that little bit more. Let's just... So I'm just going to do this one, and I will just finish off this. So once they're dry, you could go around them with a black fine liner if you want to, and then you can annotate them. But you do it for you. This is your page. You are exploring colour, how the colour makes you feel, and how you might use colour in your work as you develop your art practice. Let's pop that one in there, like that. So give yourself time to complete that exercise, maybe half an hour, something like that, so that you can really think about those colours that you've used and your emotional response to them. You're going to write your reflections, and then we will go on to day 3.